Last year, there was only one state in the nation, Colorado, with an obesity rate of under 20%. That is shocking, especially when you consider that just 14 years ago, there were 0 states with a 20% obesity rate. The epidemic has spawned an aggressive search for new treatments, including different forms of surgery that radically alter the way patients process food. And tonight, federal regulators seem poised to expand one such surgery to millions more patients. At least 3 days a week, come sun or bitter Massachusetts cold, Rashida Brown gets out of bed before work, puts on her favorite gospel music, and jogs 3 miles. And every meal of every day, she obsesses over avoiding sugar.
My snacks consist of water crackers and cheese.
With this kind of discipline, she has lost 55 pounds over the past 5 years, a routine not driven by vanity, but fear. You see, back when she was a self-described big girl, she learned that aside from the aches and pains, her weight had also given her chronic diabetes.
I remember my endocrinologist telling me about Dr. Sternthal, you're going to lose your toes. I got great toes. I didn't want to lose my toes. So I started walking.
But she could only manage to lose a few pounds and started researching her surgical options. The procedures where a doctor cuts away part of the stomach or reroutes the intestines frightened her. But then she came across a process that would shrink her stomach with the use of an inflatable silicone band. While still drastic, it is the least invasive procedure and reversible. So Rashida got excited.
When I heard about the lap band, I said, bingo, that will help me. That would absolutely help me.
But she wasn't big enough to qualify for the surgery, and so her walking turned to more urgent running. Since the lap band came to America, a 5'7" woman with health problems like Rashida needed to be 223 pounds to meet federal standards. But an FDA advisory panel just recommended lowering that number to 191, a drop of more than 30 pounds. Much to the delight of shareholders in Allergan, the company that makes the best-selling band, the new standards would make this surgery an option for another 27 million Americans. And while obesity experts we talk to aren't delighted that it has come to this, they'll take all the help they can get.
I think every treatment that we can bring to bear is of value in helping to stem the tide of the obesity epidemic. About 1/3 of the increased cost of healthcare over the past 20 years is due to the increased weight of Americans. And let's be realistic. Are we going to be able to stop this problem with diet and exercise in its tracks right now? The answer is no.
Dr. Aroni believes that treating big people before they get much bigger is a logical step for a nation drowning in medical costs.
We believe it'll cost about $15,000 to $20,000 for this procedure. It costs about $13,000 a year to take care of someone with diabetes.
Rashida is a perfect example. If she'd had a successful lap band procedure, she may not need to give herself daily expensive shots in her abdomen to control her diabetes. But if you're among the millions now wondering if this procedure is your ticket to slimmer health, a few numbers to consider. 9 in 10 complain of painful side effects like vomiting or reflux. 3 in 10 eventually have it reversed. Nevada's Dr. Robert Rutledge takes to YouTube to make his case against the lap band.
When lap bands fail, they can fail a lot of ways.
With surgical videos and patient testimonials, this woman claims she couldn't digest healthy food with a lap band, but junk food went down just fine.
Candy bars go down really well, especially if they have peanuts in them.
It is one reason some people actually gain weight after lap band surgery, although Allergan points to a study where a majority of subjects lost, on average, 30% of their excess weight after a year. If it shrinks the stomach to the size of an egg, why don't they slim all the way down?
That's a great question. And the answer is that your body is fighting as hard as it can to stop you from losing weight. it makes you lose your sense of fullness. So you start thinking about foods you may not have thought about in a long time, sweet foods or crumbly foods. They'll start drinking sweet liquids. And we tend to blame them for doing this, but the fact is it's the body's way of trying to survive. It thinks that there's a famine and you're trying to survive.
There's the attitude in America that obesity is a lifestyle choice, a lack of willpower. More salad, run around the block, that you should fix yourself. Why is that attitude wrong?
We've grossly oversimplified the problem of obesity. Obesity is the most complex, chronic metabolic illness there is.
And here's the rub. While the self-control stigma rules the day, experts say that human metabolism is so complex, the latest surgery or diet or training regimen can't possibly work for everyone.
For example, if you have exercise and too low of a diet, that can actually lower your metabolic rate and lead to weight gain or more rapid rebound weight gain when you change your diet. So you're altering your body's chemistry, your body's metabolism, which then can actually be detrimental sometimes in certain situations.
So in the end, the discipline that helped Rashida lose 55 pounds may not work for you. But the allure of a magic bullet works on just about everyone. Even with all the warnings and disclaimers, some people intentionally gain weight to qualify for lap band surgery. Others wear ankle weights to tip the scale at their exams. And even though she is once again too small for lap band surgery, Rashida is convinced it would help her lose another 25 pounds, nip her diabetes for good, and add another 20 years to her life.
I have not yet reached my goal weight, so yeah, I would still have the surgery if I could.